everyone, this is Steph, an intern for the All-American High School Film Festival, and this week's tutorial will show you how to add a little style to images in your film. Have you ever watched a documentary and wonder how the photographs move across a plane? Well, thanks to Ken Burns, that style of documentary has become very popular. This tutorial will show you how to create that style in your films. So let's get started. After you've imported your files, drag them into the timeline here. Then double-click on the image and it should appear in the left window here. The reason why you double-click the image in the timeline is because this way the edits you make to the image occur on this file, not the original one you imported. Then go to the top and click Motion. This will open a lot of the controls for the image. You can also drag effects over the image, but I like using these because they give you a little bit more creative control. I'll run through some of the controls here. The scale lets you enlarge or reduce the size of the image. The crop tool allows you to cut down the image to what you want. You can either drag the bar up and down, or you can type numbers on the right-hand side. You can also soften the edges of the image under this drop box. You can also mess with the opacity. This is useful when you want to control your own crossfades or layer images on top of one another. Before we begin, look at the bottom left hand of the second window. That little corner L is important because that lets you know that you are on the first frame of the shot. Now, let's get started with adding style to your images. I like to start adding the effect before the beginning because then the image has motion when you cut into it. See these little triangles here? They create keyframes. They act very similar to the inputs and outputs, but rather they start the style and end it. So, to make the image move, make sure you have everything set to 0. Then set the first triangle. Then, to make the image move up, go all the way to the end and then go to the left box of the center box and enter a number. I like to usually pass the end of the clip so it's continually moving when I set my keyframe, because this way, when I edit, I cut on movement. Always remember, the higher the number, the faster the movement. Then, if you keep this in mind, play the image, see if you like the speed, and then you can go back and change it. See how there's black at the bottom of the screen? To get rid of that, just drag your last keyframe out a little further, or shorten the clip, so the image remains fully in frame. Then, to delete the keyframes, just right-click and then delete. You can also use the anchor point to adjust the image movement. Similar to the center commands, you can move the image up and down, and you can also move the image left and right. To move the image down in the anchor point, use a negative number. Now, to move the image left and right, set the first frame to 0, and then in the left box, enter a number. Then set the second keyframe. In the anchor point, a negative number will move the image to the right, and a positive number will move the image to the left. With these control drop-downs, you can do so much more than just move still images. You can also give them effects. To show you how to add style to your pieces, I'm going to scale down the image in the timeline. The circle underneath is the rotation, and with this you can tilt images. Drop shadows are popular for text to help them stand out against an image, but they can also be used for images just like this. So make sure you click the box before the drop shadow to start working on it. Then what I like to do is change the color. Since the background is black, I'll pick something else. Then the drop-down shadow appears behind the image. With the angle option, you're able to switch the direction of the drop shadow and move it to another side of the image. Then you can change the softness of the image. You can also change how bright the image appears through opacity. Then with offset, you can either move it further out behind the image or closer to. Just like we move the image above, the keyframe controls down here allow you to add more creativity to the effects. Really play around with these controls, and I should also note that these effects can also be applied to moving clips as well. I'll show you a couple of examples, starting with opacity of the drop shadow. Let's have it fade in. To do this, set the keyframe at 0, then move the line where you want it to be. I want it to appear before the clip ends, so I'll place it here. Then set the keyframe and set it to 100. This makes the drop shadow come out entirely. When the red appears above your clip in a timeline, that means that you need to render the video. To do this, press Command R. Now we can play this entirely through. Now let's say you wanted the drop shadow to also change colors. You can do that too by using the keyframes. First pick the color, then press OK and set the keyframe. Again, you'll have to render to add the effect, but now our crossfade is on as well, so the color will shift with the crossfade. Now let's say you wanted to add movement to the drop shadow. Set one of the keyframes at the original point, then move the angle, and then set another keyframe. Press Command R to render, and then you have it. Play it through, and then there it is. Like I said before, get creative with these effects. Play around and experiment with them. And remember, these are the same effects that also can be applied to moving clips. This has been Steph, an intern for the All-American High School Film Festival. I'll be coming out with more post-production tutorials for future Thursday tutorials. Thanks for watching.